Do we really fall for 99 ending prices? Do we really buy something if it's priced $9.99 instead of $10? Or in other words, are people really that stupid? In one of the most influential studies about 99 ending prices, scientists sent out 90,000 catalogs but with 3 different kinds of prices. In one condition, the products in the catalog had round prices. So a product, for example, costed $10. But in the second condition, the same product cost $9.99. But they also had a third condition, which was very important, in which all prices ended on 88. So the product cost only $9.88. So from a Homo economicus perspective, you would expect that the 88 ending prices lead to the highest sales because they actually are the cheapest. But the results were far away from that because the highest sales rates were actually reached with the 99 ending prices. In this condition, all customers together spent $78,300. And this were about $5,800 more than in the condition with the round prices. And it was also to a similar degree more than in the condition with the 88 ending prices. So imagine you are running a business and all you do is to change your prices from round prices to 99 ending prices, and all of a sudden you get a sales boost of about 8%. This is a really welcomed effect. But this strategy might not be perfect for all business, and we will come to that in a minute. First of all, let's try to answer the question why people fall for 99 ending prices. Are people really that stupid that if they see a $20 price and now it's reduced by 1 cent, that they actually think, well, 19.99, it's like $19. It's really much cheaper than $20. Are people really that stupid? Scientists have conducted a lot of studies, and all in all we can say, no, people are not really that stupid. When they see a price of $19.99, they of course know, well, actually it's $20. But if people are a little bit exhausted, if they are not that motivated to think about the price really hard, and if they have to summarize a lot of prices, then sometimes calculation errors can occur. So for example, in one study, participants were asked to estimate how many products for a price of $2.99 can be bought with $73. And in comparison to a condition in which participants had to estimate how many products can be bought for $3 with $73, they really overestimated the number of products they could buy at a price of $2.99. But those effects were not huge, and when participants were asked to calculate exactly, the effects became even smaller. So these effects alone cannot explain why we fall for 99 ending prices. So what else is going on? Studies could show that for consumers, 99 ending prices also convey a special meaning. When we see a 99 ending price, we suppose that this has to be a very low price. We think that this has to be a price that came out under pressure. There must be some kind of discount. So we think the company must have been so much under pressure that the price for this smartphone is no longer $100, but now it's even $99. And it's this meaning that we attribute to 99 ending prices that makes them so appealing to us. On the other hand, and now we come to the question when 99 ending prices might not be the right choice. On the other hand, people also think that when there is a 99 ending price, the quality might not be perfect. It is the best price. It is a price that was produced under pressure. It is a really cheap price, but maybe it's not the best quality. And therefore for luxury brands, 99 ending prices are not the best choice. And you only have to take a look at the websites of Louis Vuitton, Prada, Dior or Gucci, and there you will find almost no 99 ending price because they know that their customers are not looking for the cheapest price, but instead they are looking for the highest quality. If you found this episode helpful, feel free to give it a thumbs up, or if you want, you can also take a look at the books or at the website, and maybe we will see you in the next one.